It's totally normal to feel uncomfortable with fills initially, but you just have to focus on them. One of the reasons that fills are difficult is that we hear all these recordings and there's tons and tons of ideas, and it's really daunting and difficult to pinpoint which ideas we should even focus on. So what we're going to do today is we're going to learn 4 simple rhythms. We'll master each of them individually, and then we'll start to improvise with them and mix them all together, so then in the end it turns into many different ideas that you can use on tons and tons of songs. So just keep in mind that it's always better to learn a few licks really well than it is to learn a whole bunch of ideas that you can't really improvise with and that you can only use in very specific situations. So that's exactly what we're going to do today. Without any further ado, let's jump into what these rhythms are. This first rhythm is all the 16th notes. It's called rhythm A. Next one is rhythm B, where we go 1 E and. Next one is rhythm C, where we go 1 and A. And the next one is just 8th notes, or 1 and 2 and. Now, after having played all these rhythms on the snare drum, we're going to play them on the drum set, and we're going to orchestrate them by moving around in counterclockwise and clockwise circles. So the first rhythm we'll start with is rhythm A, where we play all the 16th notes, and we're going to move clockwise around the drum set. And then now here, we're going to switch to counterclockwise around the drum set using the same rhythm. And then we'll do the same thing using rhythm B, going 1 E and. You can also go counterclockwise. And then we're going to switch to rhythm C. We go through all the variations. And then here we go to rhythm D, and we're just working on moving around the drum set. Once you're comfortable with that, you can mess around with changing up all your orchestrations. So you're kind of improvising with different possibilities and just getting really used to whatever rhythm you're working on, because you want to have these totally memorized, because eventually we're going to be building fills using these rhythms. Now that we've learned all those rhythms on a drum set and we can improvise with them, we can move our hands around and it's easy peasy. Next, we're going to add in a drum groove so we can start to apply it to a more musical situation. Here we go. So in this step, we're going to be playing over a 4-bar loop, and we just stick with one idea. So we're taking rhythm A, and we're just moving around the drum kit in a simple orchestration initially. Once you get more comfortable with them, you can change up your orchestrations, make them more advanced. And we're going to shift through all the other ideas as well. So do the same thing with rhythm B, C, and D. So right there, I chopped the loop so it would move along a little bit faster, but make sure when you're practicing fills, you're always playing to a 4-bar loop so that you learn how to feel 4-bar phrases really well. So now that we're comfortable using one idea all around the drum set, we're going to start to mix the ideas together. So here's idea D and A mixed together in one fill. Next, I take the same ideas, but I change the orchestration. And now I'm going to change the ideas, so I've got idea B and C. Now I'm going to change it up one more time, and we'll take ideas B and A and mix those together. Now once you're good at using 2 ideas, you can start to use 3 ideas or more. So just try and get creative with those rhythms and mess around with them and see what you can come up with. Once you've mastered how to play fills over the course of 4 beats or one entire measure, next we're going to shorten things and we're going to play a fill starting on beats 3 and 4. Here we go. All we're changing here is we're starting our fills on beat 3 rather than beat 1, so it'll be 2 beats shorter. We'll start off by just using one idea at a time, and then we'll mix 2 or more ideas eventually. Now we'll put together 2 rhythms. You probably get the idea now, but here's another example for you. Now that you got the hang of that, we're going to add in some flams and accents and roughs, and this is where things will really start to sound really slick and very similar to what you hear on actual recordings. It's very rare that when people play fills, they'll play it totally flat with no flams, no bass drum, anything like that. And so that's really where the magic starts to happen. You always want to be adding in flams, accents, and your own feel to all these fills. So let's check out some of those. In this first fill, I'm going to be adding a bunch of accents to idea A. If you're not really comfortable with accents, that's going to be pretty difficult, but it's just to show you that even with just 16th notes, you can make really interesting fills. This next one, I'll add in a flam. And here, I'm going to use a kick. So you can hear, by adding in accents, it really adds a nice touch to everything. So there you have it. That's a big lesson that I use with almost all my students, because at some point, fills are always a hurdle that you have to get over. So you just start with something simple, master them, learn to improvise with them, practice it with your grooves, practice at different tempos, different dynamics, all that kind of stuff, and you'll be able to use these kinds of fills for the rest of your life. I hope that helps.